Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are we doing? It's Rusty from Poker's Corner. The biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dares say. We're just waiting for Terry to join us from London. Women love him. Men want to be him. I think it's the beard that Terry's got. So he should be here in a second. I'll send him a quick video. Terry, are you leaving me hanging? Come on, Terry. A lot to cover. Obviously, it's the weigh-in today, in it for the big fight. Daniel Dubois against Big Meech. I don't know who everybody's got, but I'm going to go for Dubois. I don't know if I'm betting with my head or my heart. I don't know. I'm not a Joshua fan, as you can see. I don't like frauds in boxing. For the simple reason that we've been fed a load of rubbish by this guy, Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, now for over 12 years. All roads lead to undisputed. Be humble, stay hungry, all that nonsense. Has been nowhere near Tyson Fury when he were undefeated, and nowhere near Deontay Wilder when he were undefeated. Nowhere near Joe Joyce when he were undefeated. These people have all been beat now, and all of a sudden this guy wants to fight everybody, doesn't he? Dubois, when he were undefeated, he were coming through, so timing would have been wrong for that one, wouldn't it? There you go. Here's Terry. I was just saying, Terry. Here's Terry. Women love him. Men want to be him.
Hey?
Hey? Hey? How are you doing, lad?
All right, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm getting there. I've been training this morning. I've just got my cardio to do now, but I've got corns on my little toes. You know, Kenty told me to get some of them ASICs, and I said, no, I've got my night waffles. I've been pounding the streets around here, Four Oaks and Lichfield, and that with night waffles on them. They've done me little toes in, Terry.
Ooh.
Them ASICs are dear, though, aren't they? Have you seen how dear they are? I went into Sutton earlier. I look at them, like 300 quid, aren't they? For a good pair.
Specialist running shoes, though. But the thing is, they don't even last that long.
I know, but if you're only doing like 5 mile and you're walking half of it, I don't need to be spending 300 notes on them, do I?
Nah. Just find a shoe with a wider toe box and you'll be all right.
Well, I had some high-tech silver shadows. You know, back in the day, they were bang on, and they do them in black now, so they'll blend in with my leggings. Because I'm not keen on them grey ones, like a grey silver colour, aren't they? But if the army standard for commandos and SAS, they should be all right for me. Do you think?
Maybe.
I saw a program on YouTube, and they were handing them all out. They got give them all skinhead and that, and then they all handed them a pair of silver shadows. So I thought, oh, they must still be going strong then, because they're like an all rounder, aren't they? ASICs are supposed to be best, aren't they?
Yeah, the Japanese shoes are generally good for running. They kind of over-engineer them to be good running shoes.
Is that the Mizunos? I've seen them as well.
Yeah, same thing.
Seen them this morning. They're quite dear as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you, Terry? Are you all right?
Mate, it's Joshua Dubois fight week, isn't it? So it's normal nonsense, mate, that you got to deal with.
Weighing today, isn't it?
Yeah. Will I go? Will I not go? I don't even know, Porky. I guess I'm not a hardcore if I don't go, right?
You usually go to weighing, and there's people have usually dug you out over the year. They all tend to congregate there, don't they? And
people avoid me when I show up, though, man.
I know, yeah, I've heard that. Well, I would, a big 17.5 stone ex-boxer like you who's a bench pressing 120. I won't like a rumble. Well, you'd be a hard night's work for me, wouldn't it?
130 now.
130. See that? See, I train different. I train a lot different to you. Obviously, I train for reps and stuff like that.
We get a lot of work in, Russ. Like, there's one workout. I did it with the young guys last week, and it was 60 reps squatting body weight, 60 reps squatting, 60 reps squat deadlifting body weight.
Is that
and
in
then
one set, like 60 reps or 10 sets of 6?
10 sets of 6. You're not running 60 in one go. We'll probably try that one day. But the thing is, like, once you start, like, if you're squatting, like I was doing 105. Once you're doing that, mate, once you get to 10, I could have probably done sets of 15, but once you get to like rep 7, 8, 9, mate, your eyes are closed. You just see the white light and you're just pushing through, especially those last 2 sets. You're just talking yourself through the set. But you need that sometimes just so the body, has that kind of disaster recovery mechanism in place.
You've done a workout when you're doing that. I tried up this morning. I think I was 73 kilo bang on this morning. That's after my breakfast. So I'm happy with that. It's right weight for my height, but I don't go above like 75 kg on bench. I think I find it hard to go above my weight, my body weight. So I try to like reduce it to 50 kilos, keep it at 50 kg and do like 5 or 6 sets of 10. You know what I mean? And then finish off with loads of flies, lightweight. Because with flies, you don't need a lot on, but you can get 2 reps. You can squeeze 2 reps out, one, can't you, if you're smart? If you train smarter.
Yeah.
Do you think, Terry, when you're younger, like I remember 20s, I used to train with my cellmate from Hyde Park, and we used to, he was a lot stronger than me, but we used to like just go down there and train like nutcases and not really smarter. But as you get older, you tend to be a little bit smarter, don't you, kid? You think?
So I think when you're young, you got to do stupid things, right? You got to train a ridiculous amount. Like, that's how you build that foundation of strength. And it means that when you're older, you don't have to do so much. Yeah. Whereas, like, I feel for the guys who start lifting when they're 40 plus, because that must be harder on the body, because the body's not used to it. And you're also not in your physical prime to be doing it. So I respect those guys who do that. That's hard. But, mate, when I was young, oh my God, Porky. 10 sets of 10. 4 exercises every session, 10 sets of 10.
Overtraining?
Nah, because you could recover.
You can't do that now, can you? You still stay after, innit? Yeah.
Nah, body won't let me do that. Like, my nervous system won't even let me do that. And I was like, no, you've already done that.
I go out on bike afternoon now because this running's done me in, my feet in, knees in, and all sort of. God.
Yeah, but you see, you're not strengthening your joints. So you think what you're doing, Russ, right? You're running, right? And you've got the force of gravity pushing you up, and then you've got the kind of reverse force that's keeping you upright as well, right? Because if there wasn't the resistance to gravity, you'd be crushed. Yeah. So you've got you've got forces down and forces up on your body. And people don't realize that. And so you've got to be really, really strong when you're running because you increase those forces. So you've got to do all that stuff like strengthening your feet, your ankles, your knees, and your hips.
Well, it's all the way up, mate, from ankles all the way up, mate. Oh, God, it's shocking. I'm 54 next month, aren't I? Oh, I'm happy, like.
You're hitting your peak, though, Russ.
Well, I'm as fit as I was when I was 25, but not as strong. Yeah, not as strong, but
we need Armley Russ back.
Listen, when I was 25, they used to call me the arm specialist.
Call you the firearms officer.
They didn't call me Porky. Used to say, "Look who's walked into canteen there, the arm specialist." Right, we'll get straight in with it. I don't really know where to start. Big Malk has come out and he said that the four fell out. Dubois, old man, Don Charles, and all that. And then there's other media outlets saying Bricktop as well, saying no, everything's all right and all that. What do you make of it all? Is it mind games? Is it a lot of nonsense? I think it's mind games, but I don't know. What do you think?
So Spencer doesn't know anything. I'll say that for a fact, right? Because you got to think about it. Think about he disrespected Dubois' family and he disrespected Don Charles. I'm like, so where would you have got
they were mates, though, weren't they? Him and Don Charles were mates because he comes over as a decent fella, straight shooter, Don Charles, doesn't he?
So this is, like, I don't know if it's a deliberate ploy or whether this is Spencer being crazy. We will know if Spencer feels at the weigh-in, then we know the fix is in, right? Because we've seen Frank and Turkey ban people for less.
Yeah, like Flexen's got banned, hasn't he? Danny Flexen.
Good. Yeah, but Danny Flexen's been a rat for a long time, so I'm glad he got banned. It's about
They were
time.
telling tales on them all, one in it's all come back on him, hasn't it?
It's not even that, but you can't be doing videos titled "Is Turkey raw or cooked?" and expect him to let you in. Like those guys from the Middle East don't take that kind of disrespect lightly.
Yeah.
But in terms of Don, no. I've received communication from the right channels. Don's fine. There's no problem with him and the Dubois.
So I called it right then, did I, a couple of days ago?
What did you say?
I said, I don't believe it. I said, why would somebody who's steeped in boxing, like Dubois' dad, he's not stupid, Dubois' dad, he's got his kid this far by advising him. Why would somebody get rid of a trainer who's coming off his two best wins, right, leading up to the biggest fight of his life? Why would he get rid of him on a Wednesday? I don't get that. So I called it. I think I called it correct. I think Don Charles has been cornered, but we'll see.
Yeah. So I was a bit suspicious when I looked around. I didn't see the normal lieutenants there. I was like, well, where is everyone?
Yeah.
And then obviously you make the phone calls and you hear, no, don't worry about anything. Don't believe the rumors. Because I found it odd. You know what I mean? But my thing was, because all I cared about was making sure Don got paid. I didn't care about anything else. Because I know Dubois has been in that camp the whole time. Yeah. And Don's hooked him up with some real good sparring. Daniel's had really good work.
They get on as well, don't they? Him and Daniel, don't they?
Yeah, you can't not get along with Don Charles. You can't. Like, even if in your head you're like, I don't like how he looks. When you're around Don, you can't not like the guy.
He's a positive guy. He comes over positive and a straight shooter, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is. And he knows his boxing. He really, really knows his boxing. So I don't really understand why Spencer would do that. Like, think about this. You're meant to be the guy that's pro-black this, pro-black that. Well, you're calling Spencer X, right?
Yeah.
Why would you then pull down a black trainer who's finally got a talented boxer in his stable where he can do something good? After all those years when you're saying Don Charles deserves a chance, why would you suddenly do this? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I just think they're all trying mind games. They're trying to get a little edge, aren't they?
But look, these two guys have got hammers for fists. You don't need a psychological edge. Just get at it.
Yeah. There's some big talk. I've missed it, but a trainer who we know, I won't mention his name. I'll tell you after. Has said that someone on Talksport, and apparently Joshua's supposed to have flipped his lid. Is it today or yesterday when he was asked? Is that if you beat Dubois, this is the first live opponent that you've ever beat, apparently, and he's supposed to have flipped his lid. I haven't seen it. Is that true?
So I haven't seen it.
Have you heard
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. And I've answered the question to him, and I said, when you look at Joshua's record, when you look at wins, it's really Vlad.
Right? Joseph Parker, the saying, is his only live opponent. He got him at right time, the same. But I don't even think that because it was stunk, that fight, didn't it? It was his first time he'd been put points, wasn't it? First time he didn't knock someone out.
Okay, I'm going to give him that win. But Parker's not come anywhere near the world title picture since. Let's just be honest, he hasn't. So, pinch of salt on that one.
Terry, who's that picture of on your thumbnail?
That's some dude from Vietnam.
Oh, right. Why have you got him up there? What's that?
Why not, man? It was on there before. I just haven't changed it.
Oh, right. All right. Go on. Sorry, I thought it were Frank Smith or something. Spotty Frank.
What would he be doing with a rifle in his hand?
I don't know. They're capable of all that Brentwood mob, aren't they?
But look, here's the thing I'll say about Joshua, right? There's a lot of stuff I like about AJ. I think AJ is the reason we're doing this podcast, if we're being real. I think AJ is the reason why there's a lot more money in boxing than there should be.
Yeah.
AJ is the reason why a lot of people in this country know boxing. There's loads to like about Joshua, but when you look at his career, he's waited for everyone to knock lumps out of each other. And then he started piping up going, I want to fight all these guys next. But he waited until they were shop worn. And that will always count against him in his career because you know this, Russ. when they do that boxing Hall of Fame thing, and you know when you see the heavyweights together,
yeah,
and when they form for a picture, who always stands in the middle?
the main guy,
Lennox, always.
Lennox, the main guy, Lennox.
Lennox will stand in the middle. Then you might get Larry Holmes, George Foreman, and then everyone kind of falls in around that, right?
Because all the lions there know he's the big daddy lion, don't they?
Exactly. Now, where would you put Joshua in that?
Put him on outskirts, wouldn't you? He won't be stood in middle, would he?
No. And
if he stood in middle, everybody would stand at middle of him and he'd be pushed at sides, wouldn't he? Because he's only got 5 wins over former, current, and future world champions, and there's an asterisk next to every single one of them. Charlie Martin, a gift. Joseph Parker, stinking at you. Vladimir Oldman, Ruiz beat him, and who other one? There's another one he's beat as well. I can't think who that was. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Joseph, what other guy? He's got 5, hasn't he? Povetkin. And he were a regular champion and an old man. So out of them 5, there's an asterisk next to them all. But all we hear off Eddie Hills is resume. Well, his resume is shite. That's the bottom line. You look at Fury's, he's a shite, but he beat Vladimir, he fumbled his way to it, and he got stuck into Wilder, who had a 0, even though he'd beat no one. So both of them CVs are shite, aren't they, really?
No, here's what I'll give Joshua credit for. At least he had a career of fighting above average guys. They weren't good guys, but most of those guys were above. Povetkin's above average. Parker's above average. Charles Martin's looked, I mean, that wins looked better over time, but he's slightly above average.
Yeah.
But we'll always look at guys like Ortiz, right? Never wanted anything with Ortiz, never wanted anything with Wilder, never wanted anything with Fury. He was forced to fight Usyk. Yeah. He didn't go looking for Usyk. He was forced to fight
David
Usyk.
Price.
Who else? Ruiz. Wasn't forced to fight Ruiz, but Ruiz wasn't part of the plan.
No. That set him back 2 years, that Ruiz lost, didn't it, really? But I mean, if you look at it, Joshua's last world title win is getting on for 4 years ago, Pula. That's his last world title win. Now, that to me is a fighter on the slide, Terry. What do you think?
Honestly, we'll find out on Saturday, right? Yeah. That's what we'll find out what he's got left on Saturday. I just hope Daniel goes after him. Like, don't try and outbox him. Don't try and be clever. Yeah. Just set about him and go, look, I want to find out if you're the man you say you are.
Yeah. It's an intriguing fight. But in my opinion, it reminds me of George Foreman against Ron Lyle, Ali's cast-offs. So these are Usyk's cast-offs. Do you agree?
That's a good way of putting it, actually.
Yes, Foreman Lyle. That's what it is. And that were a rumble, wasn't it? Because they both wanted to prove that Ali beating them was a fluke, or do you know what I mean? Not their night on the night kind of thing. And I think Usyk's done Joshua twice. He's done Dubois. So and Usyk's gone, go on, have that belt. He give him it, didn't he, as a gift? But
yeah,
Foreman and Lyle didn't have a belt, but they got stuck into each other. There were 7 knockdowns, weren't there?
Yeah, that was really good. A really good, entertaining fight. And hopefully that's what we get. Like, I don't want to get none of this. It's jab and move. Just set about each other, man. That's what the fans want to see. Just 2 big lumps going at it. I mean, last man standing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. What do you think about the press day and hype and all that, and people having the press passes took off them and selected few being shuffled into the front to ask the main questions? What do you think about how it's all been handled with media, Terry? Before we get on to the fight itself, what do you think?
Well, who's suffered? Who in the media suffered?
Well, Seconds Out have suffered. All them, is there 4 or 5 of them that work for them? Because it's quite a big firm, isn't it? Seconds Out, isn't it? It's a big following, isn't it?
Okay, but I'd also have got rid of him too. I think Danny Flexen is a knob, and I say that to his face. So I have no qualms in saying I think Danny Flexen's a knob. Has a bit of a reputation for sliding into female boxers' DMs, but those are just allegations, obviously. Yeah, bit of a wrong one, to be honest.
Well, what about Danny Flexen not so long ago making out that him and Bricktop were like that? Well, why can't Bricktop save him now?
Because the guy disrespected Turkey, and Turkey's like, "Yo, we ain't letting you in. How dare you say turkey raw or cooked. How dare you?
Turkey, what do you what title?
I think it was like turkey raw or cooked.
What does that mean, though?
Well, turkey's either raw or is cooked, Russ.
If it's tongue in cheek and he's took it wrong way, fair enough. But as I'll get a press pass for calling him Triple T. Then will I tea towel turkey?
No. You're cooked as well, mate.
I'm cooked then already. I'm all right. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not bothered
you're
about
cooked pork.
I'm cooked, but I'm not. I'm cooked, but roast pork. I'm not really bothered about going Saudi anyway because I end up coming back with an arm off. They'd be calling me Flipper's Corner, then, wouldn't they? Flipper's Corner. I'd be like that with no arm. But we've got to give him credit. He's throwing money at boxing. It's a plaything for him and that. But my argument with all this is Eddie Hearn, we'll call him, and Frank Warren, in my opinion, have lost their bit of pride. And it's amazing how people will behave like they've behaved to get a few quid. And I think after all that bluster and bravado, all it were really about was money, wasn't it? When all said and done, they'd do out to get a pound note, wouldn't they? All that pride this and pride that. Because don't forget, over the years, they've tried to outdo each other with everything, telling tales to tax man, VAT man, nicking fighters, writs, legal action. And don't forget, they've just about done everything possible. I mean, Warren even had MPs asking questions about StubHub in House of Commons about it all. So they've gone to board with complaints, this and that. This has been going on 40 years, best part of 40 years. Now all of a sudden this guy comes along and brings them all together and they're all going to play happy families just because it suits them. In my opinion, they've shown themselves up to not be real men. That's my opinion. And people will do that around a pound note. And that's what I can't get out of my system and out this napper of mine. I just can't get it out of my head, mate.
Business is business, Russ.
I understand that. I understand that.
I
had this argument with Dennis.
Think about this. No, think about this. Think about this. There are jobs that rely on those guys generating money. It's not just them. Like we look at Matchroom and Queensberry as Frank and Eddie, but it's really about I don't know, Brenda, who does the ticketing, or Sue, who does this. It's about those guys being able to pay their rent, their mortgage, their bills. So
I understand that.
Yeah, so sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Now,
yeah, but don't be sat there hugging and kissing and shaking hands and all that nonsense and swapping spit in shower. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, well, they got to do what they're told.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
So what I don't want is when Turkey's money goes, I don't want that old nonsense to start up again.
Yeah, exactly. Is it going to go back to the Cold War?
Yeah, we can't go back to that.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think it still could have been done without all the swapping spitting showers. Because you never really saw the Bob Father and Oscar De La Hoya hugging and kissing when they had to work together, or King and Aaron, did you?
No, they just got business done the right way.
Yeah, yeah. I would have liked to have seen them across different parts at ring and just have that bit of tension instead of sat on each other's laps. You know what I mean? That's what I would have preferred. I would have preferred that, mate. But we're not going to get that. It's entertainment in it and drama and all that. That's what we love, don't we? We love it. That's why we've got to get in close. But I'm looking forward to the show. I'm going to go out into Sutton and watch it. I'm looking forward to it, and I really, really am. Honestly, I think it's a great show. I mean, there's some good fights on it. And obviously, Beefy Smith and Kelly's not on. What do you think to that?
Mate, you know what? This is why, Russ, if you're a boxer and there's a Riyadh season show happening, just make sure you're on weight. Make sure you're on weight and make sure you're ready.
You want on weight?
Because when Liam dropped out, I know they rang a few people to fill in. They're offering $500,000. And there were lads that weren't ready. So there's a lot of lads who've lost out on $500,000.
Well, Smith weren't ready, were he, really?
You saw him at the press conference. That weight was never going to shift.
No. I seen it. I thought, oh, he's going to struggle. I mean, who would have thought Liam Smith walks around at £200? but yet he gets down to 160 in a camp. Now you're cheating yourself if you're more than £8 or £10 over your fighting weight, aren't you? Really, before a camp. Froch always used to say to me, "You don't want to be taking off more than £1 a week. £1 a week's easy if you do train every session. £1, you don't even have to get on the scales; it'll just come off naturally. Now, if you're having to take off £4 a week, there's a problem, isn't there?"
Right. He was never going to make that. And I think all he did is put his name in the mixer, knowing that he can come again. There'll be someone else that he can fight. It might be Hamza Shiraz. If Shiraz wins, I can see them putting him in William Smith next. So maybe he's played a canny game here.
What did you think to Paul Smith coming out, going on about game plans and that, and saying that if Dubois gets him in corner, he should do what he used to do. You know, if he gets Joshua on the ropes, gut at body and all that. Paul Smith, the rib tickler. What do you think to that? Is he qualified to talk about body punching?
Nah, but look, he's a sharp enough boxing mind, mate. In my opinion, I think Paul Smith. Because remember, he does work with fighters. I don't think he officially does, but he trains people.
Yeah.
So he'll have that perspective on it. He's not wrong. Like we've seen for a long time, Josh was vulnerable to the body. It's just that no one goes after that. And if I'm Dubois, like this is a time where you've got to go head body until something breaks.
Do you know when you talk about that head body? You know, you did that. You did a good breakdown when we spoke about Usyk. Usyk gives it the full variety. He doesn't just go after people's chins, does he? He goes upstairs, downstairs, side to side. He hits them on arms. He goes everywhere. Usyk were hitting Fury on his hip. If you watch in round 2 and 3, he kept going for his hip. I mean, and his chest and all that. Usyk's like goes all over the place, doesn't he? Not just dead body.
But it all hurts. I'm hitting you in places where I know it's going to hurt you. Your breastbone, you get punched there a few times, it hurts. You get hit in the hip, it starts to hurt. You get hit on the arm, especially that dead arm spot, it starts to hurt. Do you know what I mean? So you've got a choice in boxing. You can try and take someone out and keep swinging and missing, or you just sort of break them down, stay in the fight, break them down, and you keep believing that these punches are hurting. Bam, bam, bam. And what will happen? You take so much energy just resisting those punches and trying to act like they don't hurt, that by round 6, you're like, oh my God, what's happened to me?
Yeah. Do you think that, Usyk, right, when you look at the guys he fought in the UK, Bellew, Chisora, Joshua twice, Fury, obviously beat Joe Joyce, didn't he? WBSS with no headgear. The experts are saying he never lost more than 3 rounds in any of them fights. Do you think he gives them 3 rounds away to see what they've got? Because no. What do you think then?
When people say all that stuff, they're idiots. No, because like Usyk's dealing with guys that are bigger than him that want to take his head off. Why would you give rounds up? That doesn't make any sense. Like he's trying not to get hit. He's like, no, I'm trying not to get hit. Now, is he fighting? And through fighting, is he like, okay, these are the things that are working for me? Probably. But he's not giving rounds away. Like, he's fighting pretty good guys. Think about this, Russ. How many times do we complain about fights not being competitive?
Yeah, well, the one were competitive, wasn't it? It were 2 guys at top of the game, wasn't it? And do you know what? Yeah. All this nonsense that Fury wasn't fit and all that, I think he actually were fit, me. I think he just come up against a guy who had an answer for everything. That's my own personal opinion. Because Tyson's not stupid. He knew that he were in with, the ultimate. That's what I think. And I think he were fit. I really do think he was fit. He's not thick. He's not a thick guy, Tyson, He's quite smart. And I don't think he'd put his son in that situation where he weren't fit. But, people...
No, I don't think he was fit.
Hey?
I'll tell you why I don't think he was fit, Russ.
Why?
He couldn't move through the gears. Like you said, he's a smart guy. In round 6, when he was ripping Usyk to the body, and Usyk was like, oh, this is horrible. And you could see that, because Usyk was kind of hopping around the ring. Fury would have known, because we could see, he's like, jump on him. And he couldn't jump on him. Yeah. Now, whether that's a physical or mental block, I can't tell you. But he knew that Usyk was there for the taking, and he didn't take him. And remember, after that, Usyk was like, I can't run that risk again. I'm going to have to just set about this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that Josh Warrington against Kakezi. The IBF have dropped the belt. Josh Warrington and his dad are saying we're still fighting for a world title. But if you remember, if you back up 2 years when Yazza Dickens had IBO and Josh Warrington had IBF and Jazza wanted to fight, they were saying, it's not unification. That belt's from out of cereal box. So but now all of a sudden, it's a bona fide belt. What do you think, Terry, about
that? None of them are fighting for the belt or the glory, man. It's a good payday, right? Yeah. Warrington wants that payday. If he gets the win, the Riyadh season gravy train carries on for him. If he loses, that's probably him done at that level. He might get a few rematches, but he won't get that money again.
Yeah, they're talking about him and Galahad again if he loses. What do you think?
I didn't even know Galahad was still boxing. Well, wow.
He won't box for a while, has he? But they're talking if he loses, that's his only fight he could go after now. What do you think?
Lee Wood. Lee Wood.
Yeah. Why is Lee Wood not fighting? What's going on there? It's shrouded in mystery, that, isn't it?
Lee Wood wants to fight in Nottingham. He knows he's only got a set number of fights left. He wants to fight in Nottingham. Hearn doesn't believe it will do the numbers. Simple as that.
Yeah. What do you think to rest at show? Tyler Denny, Amzad Shiraz.
Good fight. Be interesting to see if Denny can really attack Shiraz and get to him. Can Denny start? Can he test Hamza Shiraz in the way that Bradley Skeet was starting to do? Hopefully he can, right? Because we want to know if Hamza Shiraz is the real deal. Like, he's been dropped before, right? If I remember correctly. And so can Tyler Denny put him down again? And then if we start to see these vulnerabilities, what does that mean for the plans they have for Hamza Shiraz? Yeah. So I think that's going to be good. But I'd also like to see Hamza Shiraz win because we need more British stars. So I want us to create stars. So I actually do want an impressive win in an entertaining fight. Let's do it that way because we do need stars in boxing. We can't always hope that the guy on the up loses because, Joshua's 35 this year, right? Fury will be, 36, 37 this year? Yeah. Chisora's way past 40. Eubank Jr.'s mid-30s. Our money men won't be in the sport in 2 years' time. So we need new stars.
Yeah. I mean, Kell Brook's on about coming back. He's 39 next birthday. Do you think that's it for him?
Come back to fight who?
I know, yeah. Exactly. There isn't really anybody unless you fought Eubank. Because, Eubank's talking Lara, who's 42.
Sure, Lara beat Danny Garcia into potential retirement.
At least 37, but Ben Shalom's talking Lara as well.
Well, just from what I've heard, Ben Shalom and boxing need the money. And I'm not saying that to take the piss. I'm just saying for a promoter that have Sky as a platform, they haven't done a lot of shows. Yeah. And you got to ask yourself, why have they not done a lot of shows? They haven't done a lot of smaller shows, have they? It's always been shows where you see them trying to cash out. So like Billum Smith, etc. They're always trying to cash out because I think the cycle of money is a bit hard for them at the moment.
Yeah.
And we should all be concerned about that because if you look at the people who are plugging the gap for Boxer, it's an interesting collection of names.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. It's nice to see all the usual faces on all the YouTube channels this week, and it all popping up with an opinion. It's good to watch, isn't it, Terry?
I'm bored of it, mate. I'm bored of it. Like on YouTube, I kind of watch your stuff, and that's it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's had a chance to be serious, right? Yeah. And they've never been serious. Like, I'm not. How many years are you guys going to wait for them to ask the questions you want? I just see a lot of numbnuts still watching these videos, hoping they're going to ask the hard questions. I'm like, but you've been waiting since 2015. Like, when are you going to come to your senses and realize it's a waste of time?
We can watch the Stomping Ground and IFL talking to Eddie about Tom Ford sunglasses and Gucci jeans.
So you think about it, right? Boxing's this working class sport, and these guys are on video rubbing everyone's faces in it. Going, look, this is stuff that you guys watching can't afford, and you guys still watch it. It's embarrassing. I don't even feel bad for guys like Parsons. I feel bad for these boxing fans. I mean, these people who complain, oh, they don't ask hard questions and this, that, and the third, and they're still there. Like, oh, let me watch Eddie. Let me watch Frank. Oh my God, yeah. Boxing fans are their own worst enemy.
Do you feel that IFL's run its course now after 14 year, Terry?
Run its course now. It ran its course like 2017. Like what?
Yeah, I think it
Who's
peaked in
still watching?
2017, didn't it? After that, it was tight. It's been tired now, isn't it? And I feel for Coogan in a way because they're stuck in a routine now of PR guys for them, aren't they? And other people have joined on the bandwagon, aren't they? Like the Talk Sport lot. What's the point of Talk Sport boxing now, Terry?
Let's say that those two guys, and Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver, have a bit more involvement in the game than they let on. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So when they talk, they know what they're talking about, but they can't reveal what they're talking about.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, mate. I see where you're coming from. Ebony Bridges not fought for 2 years. Shannon Courtney not fought for 2 years. Conor Benn not fought for over 2 years. This isn't UK. And Dylan White approaching 2 year November. Are they all serving silent bans? Yes or no? Or can't nobody talk about it?
Ebony Bridges is pregnant, isn't she?
That's what they're saying. It's a who.
So
it's a who done it.
got to see when the baby comes out, I guess.
Well, the betting is 4-6 on Conor McGregor. Right, that's 4-6 on. Bombay Dave 8-1. Right, Bombay Dave.
Who's Bombay Dave?
Dave Caldwell, Bombay Dave.
Oh no, we can't do that. No. Come on, man. No, you're gonna get yourself cancelled, Russ. Please, no. No, you're gonna get your channel nuked, mate. I'm being they're gonna nuke your channel.
It's only a bit of banter. The Gad 8-1. Oh. Do you remember when the Gad said Ebony Bridges was like Muhammad Ali of boxing? He'd lost his mind, hadn't he? Though. Kell Brook 20-1. That's a long shot, isn't it? Kell Brook.
Oh, wow. Yeah. He's 3 kids in, man. Kel can get busy.
Sonny Edwards 200-1.
No, I'm being nice about Sonny Edwards because I quite like the fact that he's fighting Galal Yafai. So he's good.
Hey, that a good fight, that.
That's a hell of a fight, mate. Isn't that going to be local for you?
Yeah. Hey, isn't Sonny Edwards brave coming out, sticking it to McCracken about being he's a matchroom fighter, but he's sticking it to McCracken. The first matchroom fighter to pull McCracken up on having an involvement with EIS and professional. You know what I mean? Because he trained Joshua and Froch, didn't he? He's the only one that's come out and said so. So I'm Team Sonny this week.
No, credit to him, man. But that's something that we've talked about for years, Russ. The fact that only McCracken determines who can go into that EIS. But it's like, well, hold on, I hold a lanyard. Why can't I take my boys into the EIS?
Mm. Yeah, I see.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It would be like me being an FA registered coach and they say, oh, you can't come to St. George's Park. Like, wait, isn't that exactly what St. George's Park is there for? Yeah. So who else did you say we haven't seen for a couple of years? Ebony Bridges, Conor Benn.
Ebony Bridges, Conor Benn, Shannon Courtney, and Dylan White, all approaching. Conor Benn, April 2022, Conor Benn, and the other three, Shannon, Ebony, and Dylan, approaching 12th of December from now. It's 2 years for them three. They haven't fought in UK.
Okay,
peak years, according to BoxRec.
So Ebony Bridges, I'd argue, is too expensive to put on shows at the moment.
Yeah.
That would be my argument. And if you can't get on a Saudi card, then she's just too. She's an overhead, right? Because
Yeah.
she'll want pay. She want being paid well now. Because if her OnlyFans is doing the numbers she says, she doesn't really need to box.
Yeah.
Shannon Courtney's been trying to get back in the ring, but it's almost like people are like, what for?
Yeah.
Because it's not like Shannon had won a world title and say, okay, we can just get her back to another level. She was getting bullied about at 118 pounds. I think she found it hard to make 118. So if she went up to 122, someone like Ellie Scotty would smoke her. So there's no real upside. Shannon's got to go back out on the small horse scene and rebuild.
Yeah.
Maybe jump in with someone like an Emma Dolan, but I think Emma would smack her from one side of the ring to the other. So I don't think there's really a career option for Shannon Courtney, and which is a shame because, like, I'll always say this about Shannon. Whenever you think about her talent, as an amateur, that young woman grafted, mate. I've never seen someone graft. She'd go from being a chef straight to training, sleep, wake up in the morning, do a shift again, and she just grind. And so I respect her work ethic. I think she was just caught between weights, and that's made it hard for her. Who else? Dillian's probably serving some kind of ban, I imagine. And then Conor Benn, had he not fought in America, he'd be in a British ring now. I genuinely believe that. That's why I keep saying to you, Russ, you'll see him back around March next year.
You've called that for a long time, didn't you and Julian? Do you want to go on to part 2, Terry?
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Don't forget to check out Porky's International YouTube, our sister channel. Pop, pop, bang. Max, ring me when you're 18, Clem. And not until.